This
An
conference
overview of
will now be recorded.
Dear customer, just a little housekeeping before we get started. If you have any questions during the presentation, please type them into the chat box. Our expert team will answer all your questions at the end of the session. Now I call Mr. Periyasamy, Business Development Head, to give welcome speech and to introduce our presentation speaker and panel members. Sir, over to you.
Thank you, Upendra. Once again, warm welcome to everyone who has joined for this today's session for the machining solution that drive your profit on our to have an overview on with our product portfolio. Then we like to introduce our team, expert team, who is sitting with me now. Mr. Sridhar Murthy, Head of Application Engineering, who is with us more than 30 years, more than 1,000 tooled up solutions for our customers. Then Mr. Krishna Prasad, who is assisting Mr. Sridhar Murthy in all the technical proposals, manufacturing of designing and manufacturing of fixtures, and providing CAD/CAM solutions, automations for the machining center, Mr. Krishna Prasad. Then Mr. P. Manikam, who is again expert in the machining center in application engineering, who is having the experience about more than 20 years in fixture, tooled up, process improvements, all the machining center solutions. So very immense pleasure to introduce our technical team to yourself. In addition to that, I am Periyasamy, taking care of business development with 30 years of experience in the machine tool. I take the privilege to introduce our presenter today, Mr. Shashank Joshi, who is having a wide experience in the machine tool industry, hardcore experience on the service, handling the service complaint of the customer about 10 years, then all India service head in customer service in head office Coimbatore about 10 years. Then last 10 years he is playing a major role in sales and marketing in Western region. He's sitting in Mumbai. So he's having a wide experience. You can feel that experience in his presentations. So with that, we'll quickly jump into the presentation. Over to Mr. Joshi.
Yeah, thank you, Periyasamy, for your kind words. Am I audible? Hello.
You're audible, Joshi.
Yeah. Okay. I'll start now. Good afternoon and welcome everyone. Hello.
Yeah, go ahead, Joshi. You are audible.
Yeah. 1 minute. Just 1 minute. My slides. Yeah. Okay. There was some problem. Very sorry for that. Yeah. Good afternoon once again, and welcome to webinar on overview of LMW machining centers. Just a minute, 1 minute. There's some problem. My next slide is not getting opened up. Just a minute. I'll just see that. Just a minute, please.
There is some technical glitch.
Yeah, please. Yeah. Yeah, sorry. Now is it okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. So very sorry once again, and welcome to webinar on overview of LMW machining centers. We at LMW work closely with our customers and believe in long-term association. As of now, we have these 4 verticals: textile machinery division, machine tool division, foundry division, and advanced technology center. We are among world's The top 3 manufacturers of textile machinery and provide complete end-to-end solutions for setting up textile mills. We manufacture finest range of CNC machines in our machine tool division. Our foundry is considered among best in India, and we export to castings to companies like GE, Cummins, and many more. Our advanced technology center supplies high precision components to companies like Boeing, HL, and Honeywell. We started our machine tool division in 1988 in technical collaboration with then Morisaki of Japan. The entire plant was set as per their standards. We stepped up our own R&D activities after expiry of the agreement, and now we offer a wide range of 50 products with 88 variants to cater almost every segment of the manufacturing industry. And here you can see over 20,000 machines are running day and night at 7,500 plus customers across the country. We are trusted by the best in the world, DMG Mori. They selected us to manufacture their highly popular model, CMX 600 VI, and since October 2019, CMX 600 VI is manufactured by us at our factory in Coimbatore. Now, this trust in our quality is because of best systems we follow and infrastructure we have built over the years. We have world's best machines like SMK, Studer, Bomard, Dixie, Zaire, Reshaw as mother machines in our manufacturing setup and best equipments in quality control. Our entire plant is temperature controlled, and we have created dust-free atmosphere, which is must for manufacturing of CNC machines. And this is run by best minds with experience of over 3 decades in machine tool industry. We use best-in-class of IoT and state-of-art software for our R&D and manufacturing. We are not just machine tool builders, but we are complete solution providers. We offer 3 categories of machines: turning machines, milling machines, and turn mill centers with customized tooled-up solutions. We have a highly experienced team in application engineering who has developed thousands of tooled-up solutions. We also supply you machines with complete automation, that is with robo as well as with gantries to suit your manufacturing setup. And we provide you turnkey solutions wherein we conduct CPCP case study at your work, establish the process and cost per piece. And this is supported by our CAD/CAM facilities in our R&D and application engineering. We also offer you IoT solutions in line with current trends in manufacturing. We have digitalized our service department for the immediate response to any of your needs on the machine, and thus we are here to provide you the total solution. And this is our product basket. We offer horizontal turning centers, VTLs, HMCs, VMCs, and turn mill centers. We cater to almost every sector, be it automobiles, pumps and valves, aerospace, medical. But apart from this, premier educational institutes like IITs, they have also chosen our machines to train sharpest minds in this country. We offer you the finest and wide range of machining centers with customized solutions to cater to your every requirement and to put you ahead of the competition. And these are the few components for which we have provided customized solutions or our tooled up machines. Here you can see the diff case. We have given the complete tooled up package of CNC lathes and VMCs required for machining this component. Then we have also given the complete tooled up solutions to component like steering knuckle, con rod, impeller shaft of the turbine, turbochargers, and of course many more. In this slide, you can see various dies and molds made on our VMCs. You can see the shoe mold, you can see the bottle mold, and see the last one, that is a die made for ornament industries. You can see the intricacies of profile machines, and all these components are made on our standard VMCs. Here are a few more tool up solutions on this slide. Our CNC lathes are known for their high accuracy, high repeatability, and trouble-free turrets. And we do complete machining of our turrets on our JV100. See, we all are in business to make money. Now, in order to grow in any business, we need to make decent profits year on year. Now, how to make profit year on year when the costs are going up? Of course, by increasing the productivity. Now, to achieve the higher productivity on machining centers, we should aim for higher surface finish, higher precision, that is nothing but high accuracy, high uptime, and high MRR, that is the material removal rate. So these are the parameters which decide productivity or ROI of any machine. And now next few slides will show you how LMW ensures all these parameters are met on our machining centers. So we will start with the surface finish. So what are the factors which decide the surface finish? First is the machine itself. Now, when we say machine, it is the rigidity of the machine which decides the surface finish. Second is the spindle. Now, this is the most important part of the machines and we will be discussing in much details in later slides. Then next is the functioning performance. Then comes the CAM software, then the CNC controller, and the last is the servo. When we say servo, it is nothing but the entire field mechanism, including the ball screws and LM guideways. So let us start with the machine rigidity. Rigidity plays a major role in achieving the surface finish, and it can be classified in two categories. Both are equally important, static and dynamic. Now, static rigidity is nothing but the machine structure or castings like bed, saddle, table on which we assemble all other parts. Castings on our machines are of FG300 grade. Now, castings of this grade have properties like high vibration dampening, high tensile strain, high corrosion, and heat resistance. All these castings are sourced from our own foundry division. Hence, we have the complete control over the process. So you are assured of the best casting quality on our machines. Our every model undergoes the finite element analysis, or it is called as FEA. This is an advanced software which analyzes the machine structure and stability at the design stage itself. So it also simulates the dynamic condition and predicts stress accumulation or casting failure. And accordingly, we can add or remove material or provide extra ribbing wherever required. Now, with this software, we can predict the exact behavior of the machine at the design stage. Now, it is a very wrong perception that only weight of the machine decides the rigidity. No, in fact, the casting quality and use of modern software like FEA decides the machine rigidity and its performance. Stress relieving also plays a major role in machine rigidity. We all know the natural seasoning where castings were kept outside exposed to sun for months. Now this is an old process. We have modern ovens where we simulate and accelerate the process of stress relieving and achieve the same results in short period of time. So with all these, what we achieve is a high rigidity and high machine life. Next comes the dynamic rigidity. It is the rigidity of various elements in motion, that is, access system consists of ball screws and LM guides. We offer you the best class of ball screws. These are pre-tensioned during the assembly to counter any deformation due to thermal expansion. We offer both LM ball as well as LM roller guideways depending on your application. Now, ball type guideways are suitable up to 800 kgs, whereas LM roller guideways have high load carrying capacity, and that's the reason they are used in bigger machines where load carrying capacity is over 1 ton. Now, spindle plays a major role in achieving the surface finish and productivity, and we'll be going in detail in next few slides. We offer you 3 types of spindles depending on the application. First one is a belt-driven spindle. Now, belt-driven spindles are used when the material removal is high and the spindle RPM required is less than 8,000. There is a set of pulley, and the pulley ratio magnifies the torque on spindle, which is must for bigger die cutters for high material removal at the lower RPMs. Then we have direct driven spindle. Here, the spindle motor is directly coupled with the spindle. You get high RPMs up to 12,000 in this combination, but the torque available on the spindle is less than the belt-driven spindle. Now, in case your application calls for higher RPM, say 12,000 and above, we offer you the integral spindle. Here the spindle and motor are one unit. Spindle shaft is the rotor and the casing is the stator. Spindle runouts are very less in this case, so you get much higher accuracies and the surface finish on the component. We offer again 3 types of spindle tapers or tool locking mechanism. The most common is BT standard. You must be having BT 40, 30, 50 holders with you. Here the tool holders gets clamped against the spindle taper. Now we offer this type of clamping system when your application needs less than 8,000 RPM. As the spindle RPM increases above 10,000, centrifugal forces also acting on these tool holders also increase. Hence, the tool locking mechanism needs to be strengthened. Now, in such case, we offer BBT type spindle. Here, the holder gets clamped on the taper as well as on the face, and that makes locking rigid and ideal at higher RPM. So, you are able to achieve the higher surface finish and better runout and now, in case your application calls for RPM say 18,000 and above, we offer you Hsk type spindle. Now here again the tool holder is clamped on taper as well as on face, but the clamping is from inside out. So here you can see the clamping is from inside out. So at higher RPM, centrifugal forces actually assist in perfect locking of the holder. Now this type of spindle is offered when you require very high RPMs, high accuracies and surface finish. Now, next requirement for getting surface finish is the balance spindle. Now, you all will agree that the balancing of any rotating part is must for trouble-free performance and life. So, it is applicable right from your car wheels to the machine spindle. Now, as per the JIS, that is the Japanese standard what we follow, tolerance for spindle balancing is 4 grams. We take extra care and maintain it within 1/4 of the value, that is a 1 gram. So what you get in return? Reduce spindle vibrations, improve surface finish on components, high spindle life, high tool life, and ultimately high productivity on our machining centers. Tool clamping force is also one of the major factors which decides the surface finish. For BT40 spindles, ideally it should be between 8 to 9 kilonewton. We maintain it exactly at the mean value of 8.5 kilonewton. Now, generally tool clamping force is measured in the static condition. Now, when spindle is running at higher RPMs, net clamping force gets reduced because of the centrifugal forces. Then, how we can ensure that 8.5 kilonewton of net clamping force is available during cutting? That's the reason we measure tool clamping force in dynamic condition with a very special instrument just to ensure that 8.5 kilonewton of clamping force is always available during cutting conditions. Then comes the spindle runout. Now this is another important factor which decides the component accuracy and the surface finish. As per the JIS standard, allowable runout near the spindle face is 6 microns and at 300 mm away from the spindle is 20 microns. What we achieve on our spindle is much less. It is 2 microns and 6 microns. So how this runout affects your productivity? Now suppose you have a 10 mm diameter in the spindle. Now due to the runout, apparent diameter would be say 10.05. So with this, naturally you will not be able to maintain the bore diameter, achieve CP/CPK, or even might get the rejection. Now spindle runout is again generally checked in static condition using mandrel and micron drive. Many of you might have checked with the same method. But with this method, how you can predict the runout at higher RPMs when the centrifugal forces also come in picture? That's the reason we check the spindle runout in dynamic condition using non-contact eddy current sensors. So with this, we can predict the spindle behavior at the higher RPMs and the accuracies that can be achieved during cutting conditions. Now, all these previous slides must have assured you that we are taking utmost care in manufacturing and testing of our spindle so that you get a high accuracy and productivity on our machining centers. Now, the next important factor behind the surface finish is the performance of the machine. It is nothing but how good is your machine during actual running, and it is determined by the positioning accuracy and repeatability. Typically, our machines give positioning accuracy of 3 microns and repeatability of 1 micron. Now, how our machines deliver such a high accuracies? Of course, because of the casting quality, manufacturing process, overall construction, and rigidity of the access systems. Now, even though we use a high-class box tools, they also have some manufacturing errors in microns. And that's the reason we carry out laser calibration of each and every machine. Here the pitch error and backlash are compensated in the system. And that's how we achieve repeatability of plus minus micron on our machines. I request all of you to mute your mics, please. So I request once again to mute all of you. Please mute your mics. Shall I move to the next slide, please?
Yeah.
Shall I move? Yeah, sorry. So once again, I request all of you to mute your mics, please. So now once we start getting the vibration or chatter marks on the component, it not only affects the surface finish but affects the tool life, and we are forced to compromise speeds, and ultimately the productivity of the machine suffers badly. We have addressed this issue. LMW machines have the rigid structure, thus the vibration levels are minimum. And the high stiffness in feed mechanism ensures that dynamic loads are not affecting the machine and the movements are smooth. And as a result, you get a high surface finish, high tool life, and ultimately high productivity. Now, the next important requirement to achieve the high surface finish, especially while machining dies and mold, is the latest CAM softwares. Now, these latest CAM softwares create an optimum tool path and adjust the feed dynamically to ensure constant load on the tool to reduce vibration and achieve better tool life. They are also capable of simulating the part program before transferring it to the machine so that you can check and correct it in time to avoid costly damage to component and tool. Now, CAM software nowadays must to achieve the high productivity, but at the same time, your machine should be also capable of responding to the software needs. We'll show you an example. This aerospace component was machined on our JV craft with the latest CAM software, and we could reduce the machining time by 70% than conventional way of programming. Now we'll show you the actual cutting of this component in the next video. Here you can see two more aerospace components where we achieved a high surface finish of 4 microns on our JV craft using the latest CAM softwares. So it is the combination of software and the response of our VMCs that has produced the above results. And these components have also established that our standard VMCs are compatible with the latest CAM softwares and achieve very high surface finish and accuracies. Next factor is the CNC system. We offer latest versions of Mitsubishi, Fanuc, and Siemens systems on our machining centers. Now, why you need these latest versions? Because of advanced features like feed for control, jerk limitations, high look aheads, and many more, which are nowadays must to achieve high surface finish high accuracy, less machining time, and ultimately high productivity. Now, the last factor which determines the surface finish is the servo system. Now, servo system monitors how fast your CNC systems gives you the command and how fast your machine responds, and accordingly it controls overshooting or undershooting of the axis. Here, the high stiffness in feed mechanism and controlled thermal mechanical properties play a major role. Now, servo system also controls the axis vibration during acceleration and deceleration, and also resists the vibration during heavy cutting. All these features come under servo response. A perfect tuning of servo system with controller and feed mechanism can only minimize the positioning error and achieve better surface finish on the component. Now, a big question is how to test this perfect tuning of servo system with feed mechanism and CNC system. Circular interpolation test is an answer. It is also called as a ball bar test. Now, in this test, two axes are moved simultaneously to create a circle. And you can check all three combinations of XY, XZ, and YZ movements in three different planes. Now, when you are creating any circle, every axis reverses twice, and the backlash of individual axis comes in picture. Now, as per the GIST standard, tolerance is 15 microns. We typically achieve circularity on our VMCs within 7.5 microns. So you can see the screenshot of actual ball bar test. Here the circularity is well within 7.5 microns, and the radius of the circle generated is 9. You can see here 99.9982 mm against the 100 mm. Now, this is the test which gives you an idea how much circularity you can expect on the component while doing circular interpolation on your machine. And that's the reason we carry out ball bar tests on each and every machining center we supply. Now, in order to achieve the high productivity, machine has to be precise, and it depends on its mechanical stability and the system capabilities. Now, let's see the mechanical stability, and it can be checked with the geometrical accuracy. Each and every machine undergoes thorough geometrical tests. Now, few important geometrical tests done on our VMCs are shown here. You can see the straightness, parallelism, and squareness we achieve. Every parameter is achieved within half of its tolerance value. Now, when you are machining a die on any VMC, there is a frequent switching of planes, and hence the squareness of two axes are very important. Now, you can see here not only the squareness between XY, YZ, and XZ, but the squareness of spindle axis with respect to table is also achieved within 4 microns. Once again, a request, could you please mute your mics, please. Now, apart from this geometrical test, we also conduct a dynamic test or actual cutting test on each and every machining center we supply. Now, this test was developed by NASA for thorough testing of machine in actual cutting conditions. And see the parameters that are being checked: cylindricity of the bore, squareness, concentricity, straightness, and see their tolerance values as per the GIST standards and what we have achieved on our VMCs. Now, every parameter is achieved within half of the tolerance value. This test is the proof how machine is going to perform during actual cutting condition, and that's the reason we conduct mass cutting tests on each and every machining center before its dispatch. Now, other capabilities of CNCs and CAM we have already discussed in previous slides, so I'll move to the next slide. So, in order to achieve the high productivity, machine should have high uptime or less number of breakdowns. Under normal working conditions, as per our data, MTBF, it's called MTBF or mean time between the failures on our VMCs is 18.4 months. And this is possible only because of the superior build quality of our machines. And we have seen all these contributing factors in detail earlier. So I'll move to the next slide. Now, this is the last factor behind the high productivity is the high MRR or material removal rate. And here you can see the typical material removal rates of our VMCs. up to 600 cubic centimeters per minute on JV200. Material is of course steel, and here's the direct drilling capacity. Most of our models, say JV55, JV Craft, JV-M60, JV80, they are capable of direct drilling of 40 mm, whereas JV200 has a capacity of drilling direct 80 mm hole. Now we'll show you the cutting capability of one of our popular models, JV55, in the next video. We offer you finest and wide range of machining centers. Our VMCs come under JV series. There are highly efficient and popular models like JV55, JV Craft, JV80 and JV100. We have supplied these models across all segments, be it auto components, pumps and valves, dies and molds, or defense. For heavy duty and bigger components, we offer JV130 and JV200. Then for mass production, we have machines with rotary pallet changers to minimize your non-cutting time. JVM60, JV65 and JV105 RAPC. These are our VMCs with rotary pallet changers, whereas JV55 twin is a twin spindle VMC for machining two identical parts at a time. Then our JU60 is capable of simultaneous interpolation of 5 axes. This machine has got a state-of-art features like 15,000 RPM BBT type built-in motor spindle with all integral sensors for condition monitoring. Here we have provided cooling for all heat sourcing elements, that is not only the spindle motor, but to all axis motors, ball screw nuts and motor flanges for the utmost thermal stability. Thus, this machine is capable of achieving high profile accuracies and making it ideal for the aerospace components. For a high-speed machine, we have offered up to 20,000 RPM spindles on our JV80. Now these are our HMCs. They come under JH series. We have 4 models to offer, and among them JHM40 is our moving column HMCs. We'll quickly go through the specifications of our VMCs and HMCs, and we'll start with JV40 and JV50. These are the compact VMCs with the BT40 spindle. JV40 has a table size of 600 by 350 and a spindle power of 5.5, 7.5. Whereas JV55 has a table size of 900 by 430 and a spindle power of 7.511. Now we'll show you the JV40 in action in the next video. JV Craft and JV80 both have X-axis stroke of 800 mm. JV Craft has Y-axis stroke of 440 and spindle power of 7.511, whereas the JV80 has got a Y-axis stroke of 540 mm and a spindle power of 11/15 kilowatts. Load carrying capacity of JV80 is 800 kg. We'll show you JV80 in action in this video. Now, our JV100 has an X-axis stroke of 1050 and a table size of 1200 by 560. JHM40 is our HMC with a pallet size of 400 by 400. It's a moving column HMC. So the component and the pallet remains the stationary. Hence, machine dynamics remains the constant because your component is stationary. And that's the reason you achieve the better accuracies. We'll show you this JHM40 in next video. JV130 and JV200 are our heavy duty machines. Now see the load carrying capacity of both the models. And to support that load, Y-axis on JV130 has 3 rows of LM roller guideways, whereas JV200 has what? 4 rows of LM roller guideways on Y-axis and a hardened and ground guideway on Z-axis. We'll show you JV130 in action in this video. So for better productivity, we have twin spindle VMC JV55 twin to machine 2 identical components at a time. And to minimize your non-cut time, we offer VMC with a rotary pallet changer. Here JVM60 is our moving column VMC with a rotary pallet changer. Here again, this component is stationary, and that's the reason you achieve better positioning accuracies. We'll show you the JV twin in action in this next video. We have 2 more models with rotary pallet changers, that is JV65 and JV105 RAPC. JV105 RAPC is a bigger pallet machine with Y-axis stroke of 660 mm. For high-speed machinings, we have JV30. Now, this is our drill tap center with BT30 10,000 RPM spindle and with 21 tool ATC. Whereas we have supplied 20,000 RPM spindle on JV80. We'll show you this JV30 in action in next video. We have supplied our JV80 with all options like 15,000 RPM Hsk spindle to premier tool room like GKD ITR. They export complex dies, and you can see here the die set made for Ford for front dashboard of the vehicle. We'll show you JV80 machining a forging die of auto component yoke in this video. JH50 and JH63 are our HMCs. JH50 is with a table size of 500 by 500. It is a single pallet compact HMC, whereas JH63 is our biggest HMC with a pallet size of 630 by 800. And we offer these accessories as an option on our machining centers. Spindle oil cooler, especially for high RPM spindles. Air blast through spindle for dry machining. Special tool holders like angular heads and speed multipliers. Coolant through spindle up to 50 bar. Compact and space saving inline filtration systems. And a mechanical or hydraulic counterbalance to ensure zero drop of vertical axis. Now regarding our service support, We have a very strong and highly experienced team of service engineers strategically placed at 22 major industrial cities. We also have a call center which is well equipped to provide you a remote tech support. And as per our data, MTTR, that is the mean time to repair our VMCs outside these cities, is 1.27 days. So with all these, we ensure you that your cost of investment on our machines remains optimal. We have a tie-up with Siemens Financial Services, and you can avail their various financial schemes. And with this, we end our presentation here. Thank you all of you for sparing your valuable time. Over to you, Perius, for me for Q&A session, please. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Joshi, for a great presentation. Now it is the floor is open for our questions. You can type your queries and questions in the chat box, or if you have any queries in any of the slides, please feel free to ask. Irrespective of any language, we are comfortable to answer right from Tamil, English, Hindi, Marathi, and Kannada. So please.
Dear participants, kindly give your valuable feedback. Feedback link, it is posted in the chat box. Kindly click the link for the feedback.
Our expert panel is over here. Application expert are here, so you can ask any of your questions. We'll try to give answer in this session itself. Otherwise, definitely we will mail you up. We'll send you a mail, please.
I think people are started leaving. We request all the participants to give the feedback for our improvement. Let us improve continuously.
Yeah, your feedback is utmost important to us to make any changes or, of course, for improvement, betterment of our presentations. So please do post your feedbacks.
Yeah, Mr. Sridhar, there is a question for. Do you have a special machines for synthetic material like plastic and composites? Mr. Sridhar?
Hello. Yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Sridhar, there is a question in the chat box. Can you take?
Yes, I'm just open it. Yes. Okay, sir. There is no special machine exclusively for plastic or composite. On our existing machine itself, it can be processed. Mr. Hiten Beda. Yeah, you're asking for any specific spindle speed. Yes, of course. Depending on the material, we have to select the speeds and feeds. If it is composite, it will be entirely different. You will have to go for very high RPM, and even tuning also it will be entirely different from the normal one. If it is plastic, of course, we can try with the HSS or any sharper tools. Depending on the material, we have to select the cutting tools.
Thank you, Sridhar. I hope it is clarified. Yeah, Mr. Vignesh is posted the question regarding you want to buy a VMC. Is it any EMI options? So yes, we have our financial partner like Siemens, and even there are many banks, financial providers. we will connect with them. Depends on your papers. We can arrive at EMA options. We'll arrange our business development engineer and sales engineer visit to your place to have a detailed discussion on this. Yeah, Mr. Vignesh. Mr. Vignesh, you are from which area? Can you unmute or can you type? If you have your okay, can I have your contact number so that I'll ask our regional people to come and visit. Yeah, sure. You can. Yeah, 97389 71836. Yes, sir. Sir, dear Mr. Vignesh, one of our colleague from who is stationed in Bangalore will visit your place to have a better clarified discussion. Mr. William has asked, does our machines have to be retested for the accuracy after some periods of operations? Sridhar, can you take these questions?
Yeah, yes, sir. Yes, sir. In general, it is not required. Over the years, it will keep running with existing accuracies, whatever there in the beginning. In case of any accident or if you find any malfunction, in that cases, it may be necessary to cross-check the laser accuracy of the machine, or bulk through backlash error, such things, or even geometrical accuracies of squareness, straightness, that kind of things. Mr. William, did I answer your point?
ऐसा लगता है आप फोन पे बात कर रहे हो या नहीं कर रहे समझ नहीं फोन पकड़ाओ।
Yeah, there is a question regarding the battery. See, regarding the battery life, if your machine is running continuously 3 shifts, at least 16 hours in a day, if you are switching off for 8 hours in a day, your battery may come in 1 year. But if you are continuously rotating, working maybe 24/7, there will not be battery replacement in a year. Definitely, it will come a minimum of 3 years. It depends on how much hours in a day or in a month, how much hour you are switching off the machine. So the battery life come in the picture whenever you switch off the machine. So it depends on how many hours you are switching off the machine. Normally, for 18 hours operations, 16-hour operation, 8-hour, 1 year will be a normal battery life. Yeah, there is one. Which rotary table make an angular head you see for your VMC? Krishna Prasad, yes, thank you.
Yeah. So
yeah,
rotary table will be, yeah, you can Kitagawa, etc. But whichever we can use, there are lot of suppliers. And the angular head, so normally we use Big Daisho, Japanese make, and Hmcs, Alberti. There are a lot of suppliers in angular head also.
Mr. Ravi and Upendra, can you post the our head office mail ID in the chat box so that Vignesh like to have the mail ID to contact us?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And one more question, which power spindle is used for cast iron and mild steel machining? See, normal this with power spindle power having 7.511 is sufficient. So that depends upon what depth of cut you are using. For normal around 3.5 mm depth of cut, 7.511 is sufficient. Explain the spindle types. So that belt drive spindle, even belt drive spindle is sufficient for that. Hello?
Yeah. Yeah, there is a small mistake in the Ravi's message. The right mail ID mtd_marketing@lmw.co.in.
So one more question, which is the best and suitable machine for die mold as well as aerospace? See, we have this JV80 machine and JV200 as well as JV130. So normally this aerospace, which is, that will be a large structure with the size will be more than 1 meter. In that case, you can go for JV130 and JV200. For smaller dies, I think you could have seen in our video this forging dies and those things. For die mold, you can choose our JV80. So according based on the component, we can select the machine. If you have any specific drawing, please share to us. We will help you.
Yeah. And there is one more query from Vignesh. In general, after the replacement of spindle bearing in the Fanuc motor. Okay, I understand you are replaced the bearing of spindle motor. You are asking, will it generate the more heat for some time? Normally, if you replace from the authenticated service center, definitely there will not be any heat. Because the servo motor construction little different than conventional motors, so there should be some care for the spindle bearing replacement. If it is authorized service agency of the FANUC, definitely there will not be any heat. Yeah, Mr. Kenny, any specific controller for die mold? Actually, there is we have covered in our presentation. See, whatever the today CNC controller, be it a Fanuc, Siemens, and Mitsubishi, all these controllers is having the built-in capability for the die mold applications. There are around 10 to 20% more complex dies only need some additional capability on the machine. Otherwise, 70% of the die mold application can be done with our standard machine, our standard CNC like Fanuc, Mitsubishi, Fanuc with the latest controllers. When machine shows a velocity error, does it mean that there is a problem with motion? See, velocity error means there is an error built up between the command and the real physical motion. That is called velocity error. When it moves, definitely depends on the command. There will be the velocity error. As soon as it reaches the position, commanded position, the velocity error should become 0. If it is still boost up, yes, there is some problem either in your mechanical, or it may be in motor, or it may be in the feedback mechanisms like encoder or something like that. So it has to be thoroughly investigated. This is the probable causes. There is one more question related to the controller. Which control is the best, Fanuc or Mitsubishi? As far as LMW is concerned, the CNC, yes, the CNC controller may play the major role in the CNC machine, but not only the CNC controller will do the machining. The proper kinematics has to be interfaced with the CNC controller and servo drives and servo motors with the feed mechanism of ball screw gateway with the proper alignments. All this matters to bring the machining capability. So if you ask LMW, Fanuc, Mitsubishi, Siemens are equally capable. Only it depends on the country. If you ask, it depends on your practice. If you have more number of Fanuc machines, it is better to have a Fanuc machines for the better maintainability and operator friendly, because too much of switching over will create some problem. So as far as capability is concerned, all the controllers are same. It depends on how the machine is built and interface with the system. Yeah, there was a question regarding the CAD/CAM system. Yes, we can provide.
Actually, one question we have left. One Mr. Welcome to everyone. Which make rotary arm for tool changing? So for JV30 we'll use drum type, and for other machine we use twin arm type.
Thank you, Prashant.
Yeah.
Good to lose that question. Thank you.
Yeah. And Mr. Suraj Singh asking, can you provide a clamping solution along with machine? Yeah, sure. As you have seen in our session, we have given almost 1,000 solutions, and we do mechanical fixer, hydraulic, pneumatic. So whatever it depends on the productivity, we'll choose and we'll give the solutions. We can provide. Who can? Okay.
Thank you for active participation in question and answer sessions. We like to have some more questions, even in general questions also. Definitely we can answer.
Dear participants, you can also unmute yourself and ask questions.
In case we need to increase Z-axis travel in our BMC, can it be done on site or at works? So it is better to do this extension in our works.
It is better to do all the travel fixation during the machine building.
Yeah, actually this is, they are asking about Z-axis travel. We can give you Z-axis extension. So we normally, as a standard, we give 100 mm as well as 200 mm column extension.
Yeah, thank you, Prasad. In addition to that, they are asking, can it be done on site or at the works only?
Yeah, it is better to do at our works, because there the total machine we have to dismantle, and it's a very difficult process. So better to do this in it's at works, at site. Sorry, not at site, at works. So minimum thickness that to be done machine to hold. See this. You are asking about berth holding means, yeah, there are specific clamping elements to hold thin walled components. If you share specific component with the drawings, so we can recommend you the proper berth holding solution. What is the recommended depth of cut in JB55 for steel with the C45 material? We can go up to 3.5. Casting, cast iron up to 5 mm. Aluminum, we have machined more than 10 mm. And you have seen our MRR. So 50 mm you drill also you can do, and tapping up to M27 we can do on JB55.
Dear participants, if you have anything on your technical side, any discussion, if you want our technical team to visit your place, please you can give your acknowledgement so that we can arrange our technical team visit to your place, so that with your component, with your requirement, we can have a one step ahead decision.
Sir, one customer wants to ask a question in Kannada. Sridhar Murthy sir, can you?
Yeah, please. Sir, any language is okay. Please.
Really, sir.
Hello.
Chandar sir, you can unmute yourself and you can take the question, sir.
Yeah, again there is a question regarding the constraint of the rigid axis travel.
Yeah, I think we can.
It's very difficult to undertake this kind of modification after the machine building, because it is related to the squareness. There are many other geometrical accuracies playing the major role. In addition to that, the column alignment will play the major role. After giving the height blocks, we have to do almost 50% of the machine building work we have to do. So it is not recommended. We are not undertaking this kind of changes after the machine building. It has to be done during the machine building.
Yeah, also sheet metal design has to be changed. If we
Again, there is a sheet metal, there is a cabling. Lot many disturbance will.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, someone wants to ask the question in Kannada. Please go ahead, sir. Sridhar, you can invite them in Kannada at least.
Yeah. Mr. Chandra, ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು ಏನಾದ್ರೆ question ಇದ್ರೆ. I think he's not able to reach.
Upendra, if you can able to contact them, at least.
I will leave my number here so that he can contact me.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. We'll send this. We'll send the contact numbers.
Yeah.
Post our contact head office contact number, so that whoever wants to ask some question in later stage, definitely we can answer them. Let us wait another 3 more minutes so that we will conclude by 5:15. Once again, we request you all of you to give the feedback for the betterment of the presentation, then so that we can fulfill your requirements. Mr. Upendra, I like to, I don't know, actually this, something is coming on welcome. They're asking for the copy of presentation online since they joined late. Sir, if you please share your mail ID and contact number, if it is possible with the company name, we will have a session with you. If you want, we can come over to your place and have a presentation and have a detailed discussion. With our regional engineers, we can arrange. Please post your contact number and mail ID. We will somehow approach you and do the presentation again. Upendra, try to contact this.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
They have shared their email ID, sir. We'll try to contact you.
Yeah, ecotech.yahoo.com. Yeah. Actually, they are our late user. Thank you, sir. We will get in touch with you. We'll present this presentation at your place with the regional engineer, or we will once again we will do the presentation for you. Mr. Bhatt, please explain scope of X and Z axis motors with 7 Newton meter and 11 Newton meter. Mr. Bhatt, the question is, can you get a little more clarity on these questions, what you are trying to ask?
I think normally our lathe axis motor Newton meter is very low. He is asking for a very higher rating that we need to check it out and we can answer back to him.
Yeah.
Much higher Newton meter.
Yeah. That is what the 7, simply the 7 Newton meters. See, we select the servo motor depends on some principle on the design, how the machine has been designed, at what capability level. Based on some parameters, we fix the we select the servo motor as far as Newton meter is concerned. If you want the higher torque on the axis, we have to look into your scope of machining, which component and what size, which machine is suitable for that. So little more
Sir, to be very specific, I just need to understand.
Yeah.
All the machines are with 7 Newton meter of LMW. Suppose I go with 11 Newton meter for the same application. Will it help me to take a bigger depth of curve?
Sir, if you see roughly, it should be possible, but if you see the integrates of the machine, it is not only the axial load of the axis motor. It is mainly depends on the spindle power and the cutting tools.
Okay.
You have a post. Your tool post will play the major role. What is the rigidity, the clamping force, what is the tool size? Depends on this, there will be a limitation on the cutting force and material removal rate. So
Okay.
in every machine you have a maximum capability on the material removal rate. If you increase the motor capacity without doing this, without assessing the spindle power, the tool size, tool force capability, you will not get the expected output.
Okay.
I'm Shashank here.
Right from the spindle motor, right from the spindle motor, at which RPM, what is the Newton meter it delivers. Then depends on that, your tool is capable enough to start. Then the axis motor come in the picture.
Okay.
Yes, Swami. I have a point here, Swami. Hello.
Yes, sir. Yeah, please, please.
Yeah. So in the majority of this MRO test, that is maximum remote test, we will be monitoring spindle load as well as the axle load also. So in none of the cases, we have not noticed any starvation of power in axis motor. That means the 7 Newton meter whatever provided, it must be sufficient. The starvation will be there in the spindle motor only. Only specific cases like very heavy drilling you are doing, such cases sometimes problem will be there.
Sir, whoever is not talking, can you mute because there is background noise. Yeah, please, sir.
Yes. Only in specific cases like a heavy U drilling or something like that, no sir. Then this could help. Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's fine. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Sriram Engineering, Mr. There is a request for the training. Upendra, note down this. Definitely, we'll give the on-site training to the regional engineering team. If you are a first-time user, we have a free training program in Coimbatore. You can send your representatives for the operation, maintenance, and programming. There is a free training course is available for a given period. We can share our training calendar to yourself. Depends on your convenience. You can select the dates. Otherwise, if it is possible, it may not be 5 days. Definitely, we'll give a one-day training with the regional zonal engineers. Please share your mail ID or contact number to address this case. Sriram Engineering. Thank you, sir. Thank you for sharing your number. We'll do, if it is possible, we will contact you over phone. We'll have a better. Yeah, one more question. I think Krishna Prasad, can you take regarding Chuck or Sridhar Murthy?
Yeah, in case we need to hold the component check, that is more than work capacity in turning, then that got done using the chip if it's of certain weight and length. Not able to understand this point very clearly. It is possible. Only in certain cases it will be necessary to go for a big bore check also. If you share the drawing, I think we can answer better.
I think Prasad, Sridhar, whoever is talking, only you unmute. The other fellow can mute. There is an echo.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you. We need to hold the component and check. That is more than bar.
Yeah, I am just requesting a component drawing for that, so that we can propose him a suitable solution.
Yeah, we have your mail ID, sir. We will, if it is possible, please give me your component drawing so that we will study based on your request. We will study and give your suitable proposals. Yeah, we are extremely happy to answer all your queries. I hope we have clarified most of the questions. If at all anything is there, we have shared our mail ID, our marketing mail ID. Please post your questions. If anything is left out, we will answer your queries. Wanted to take update on the improvements in the spare and service by LMW. Mr. Shumit Goyal. Yes, sir. We will update you definitely. Can I have your number, sir, so that we will arrange our head of customer service to address you on this regard. Thank you, sir. Thank you for sharing your number. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Sir, can I have your company name, Mr. Sumit? Can I have your company name? Upendra, are you noting down all this SG and
Yes, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Noting it down.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, one of our colleague from customer service department, Chalan. We are from Indian Mission to Chalan. Sir, you asked about the presentation. The presentation is sorry, sir, we cannot share the presentation to you, but we can arrange the presentation to yourself at your site by our regional engineers. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Sir, shall we close it?
Yeah. Yeah, once again, on behalf of our whole team, LMW, we convey our gratitude and thanks for the patience on our presentation and active participation on the question and answer session. Still, we commit all your queries. Once again, thank you for everyone for a patient listening. Take care. Have a good evening. Bye.
Yeah, thank you all of you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, LMW team.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Nagesh. Thank you, Nagesh,
Yeah,
for
thank you.
organizing this webinar.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
I also want to thank CNC Times and our marketing team for putting effort for making this webinar successfully. Thank you all.
Thank you.